It is not a practice day for the Auburn football team, but it is a Village Vice day right here. So we thank you for vicing with us. He is Zach Blackerby. I'm Brad Law. And, Zach, this fall camp continues just to feel different. There's so much positivity. Like even a couple of days after, if you wanted to be negative about the offense, which to me is like defense, like we said yesterday, defense is usually ahead at this time. But then there were positive reports about the offense after the scrimmage, like in practices after the scrimmage Friday. So, I think overall, now a couple of weeks into fall camp, has anything stood out and surprised you? Is anything better than you thought or worse than you thought at this point?
Sure. I'll give one positive and one negative, if that's okay. Is that fair? And they're both on different sides of the football.
Beautiful.
The biggest positive surprise has been defensive line depth, especially in the interior. Jordan Crawford, kind of the face of that. Malik Autry doing enough as well. And some guys that maybe weren't discussed enough over the course of the offseason in the transfer portal. I think Auburn's in a much better spot on the D-line than I realized. And so that's great. So that's been a positive spin on it. And then, anything there? You want me to go to the negative?
Yeah, go ahead and go to the negative.
I don't love how I feel about the running back room right now. And it could just be a lot of we're holding guys out because they're not 100% and we know what we got, which would be a totally reasonable thing to do.
Yep.
Or it could be Omar Mabson really has just the belief of this coaching staff, which is a possibility. I don't think it's the most likely outcome, but it's a possibility for sure.
That's interesting to me, Zach, because you've been so high on him for so long. Do you think that's just like you're wired, like that's just not how football works? A true freshman coming into a position where three other experienced players are, you just don't do that?
Yes. And I think some of it I think is the true freshman thing. Some of it is also just we see this every fall camp where there seems to be like an offensive player who's typically new to the room and he just gets a lot of chatter. And this year it appears to be Omar. And then the season hits and we don't see him. Could this be different? Sure. Yeah. Talked about this on another show where I can't shake the fact that I think it is a possibility that Omar's there. But there's 4 running backs that I think have a legit shot of having, a market share of the carries. No particular order. Damari, Jeremiah, Darrell, and Omar. And I think 2 of them get relevant touches this year.
Yeah.
When you talk, assuming no injury, if they're all healthy, all those games and all that. I think you see 2 of them per game with you kind of get a little bit of a sprinkle of maybe the third guy. And what are the odds that Omar is one of those top 2? I don't know. I would say they're kind of low, but maybe over the course of the season, he earns reps or guys get banged up because I think durability is something we've got to ask with the running backs up to this point.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just don't feel super great about it, but also it's running back, which I think if there's a position group where I would want a little bit of uneasiness on, that would be the position group I chose.
Yeah.
But it surprised me a little bit. I thought someone would step up and we would just hear things by now, and that hasn't really happened outside of Omar. And I just don't know if I fully buy it for this year. I think Omar is going to be an incredible back.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know if he gets the amount of touches this year. I just want to add the caveat to that because you're right. I'm very high on Omar.
Yeah. And have been for a long time, to your credit. I thought Alvin Henderson would be the true freshman that would come in and wow everybody. I sort of expected to see Alvin Henderson running loose against Ball State and South Alabama, quite frankly. And I think, look, you don't become the all-time record holder in the state of Alabama, regardless of the competition you face, by being a guy who can't get it done at the next level. I think there's something in you that translates when you achieve at that level. And so I expect Alvin Henderson somewhere down the line. It reminds me a little bit of the journey of Jeremiah Cobb. Jeremiah came in as a true freshman 2 years ago. Wow, this guy's explosive. He had a stretch where he touched the ball 3 times in 3 games, and they all went for touchdowns, and incredibly explosive. And it's just the nature of the offense hasn't allowed for a guy who's 2 or 3 or 4 on the depth chart to become as featured a running back as the guy who's number 1, or like we might see this year, a couple of wide receivers.
They just announced the details for Auburn playing Houston and Birmingham.
Yep.
November 16th.
They sure did.
That
is
happened.
the day after the open date. The day after
nice.
the football open date. So for all
that'll be a home game.
Oh, it should. Yeah, it should be. Should be. Now, Auburn went to Houston and won the game that was supposed to be their home game last year.
That's true.
But it was in Jabari Smith's house, so it's still kind of a home game for Auburn.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. No, it's fun in the release. A rematch of 2 Final Four teams from a year ago.
It's true.
That'll never get old. It'll never get old.
By the way, seems like a good time, seems to me, to be a good time to remind people that Auburn is the only SEC team with 2 Final Fours in the last decade.
Huh.
Yeah.
How about that?
Just wanted to throw that out there.
People want to make comments. Oh, but you're Auburn basketball. Oh, but you're Auburn basketball. Like, come on.
Sure are. Yeah. You sure are Auburn basketball. The only
blue blood behavior is all I'm going to say to that.
No question. Find me Tom Selleck and Donnie Wahlberg right away. It's blue bloods.
That's right.
That's right.
What's been your biggest surprise of fall camp?
I think it's the positivity surrounding the linebackers. Coaches have really had positive things to say about the linebacking core. And whether we see 2 on the field or 3 on the field at any one time, depth there, I think, was a question going in. But, I think everybody took a wait-and-see attitude on Xavier Atkins. Transfer from LSU. How's he going to fit into the scheme? He's very, very fast. And I always remember when the 2003 team lost Carlos Dansby and Dontarius Thomas, and they had that no-name defense. They called them the no-name defense in 2004. And the coaches in the preseason said, yeah, but y'all don't understand how fast Travis Williams is, how fast Antarius Williams is. And they had big Kevin Sears at 6'4", 240, could pack a punch. But those outside linebackers could fly. And you're starting to hear a little bit of that when they talk about the speed of this linebacking core.
Speed. Yeah, that's the thing that keeps coming up is speed, how fast they are. And like we talked about that with DeMarcus Riddick, but it does seem to be the entire room. I mean, that was the kind of the thing with not Tolan. That's the other former LSU linebacker that transferred over.
Yeah.
Atkins.
And
LSU's like, yeah, the guy's good. Like we had high hopes for him. And if he could put it all together, like he could be a really, really solid SEC linebacker. But he hadn't been playing long enough to do that. And it looked like he got hopped the depth chart. So he left, which makes sense. That's what you do in today's age of college football. And yeah, I mean, speed, athleticism, like those are all traits that happen. It's just, can he put it all together? And it sounds like he's hit the ground running. Wheatland, I've heard mixed reviews on. It seems like he's getting more and more steady as camp goes on, which is something that you would expect the transfer from Maryland. And then, like, I'm not hearing anything about Robert Woodyard, which could be good or bad. I don't know. He's always just kind of been the guy that's there, which usually works out if you wait long enough. But I don't know what to do with that information.
Yeah, he's like the Jeremiah Cobb of the defense. Highly touted, in-state, bide your time. And now what happens this year? I feel a lot better about that room in the middle of August than I did in the middle of July, though. Especially if you think, all right, how many times are you going to have more than 2 linebackers on the field? Like, how much are they going to play nickel? So I feel good about that room. I've got one I think is going to surprise you. I don't know that I love hearing about too tall getting reps at both tackle spots. Now, maybe some of that is just in case. And, Xavier Chaplin missed the spring and he's recovering from injury. And, you have to have a plan. It's smart coaching to have contingencies. It's dumb to lose a game because you lost a guy and you had no contingency in this day and age.
Okay, then why don't you like it?
I don't know. I'm probably a little gun shy because he missed the spring. And like I would like Xavier to get every possible rep in the fall. Just because left tackle last year, and I heard you talk about this on Locked On today. Left tackle was a position that was such a like the difference between the projected strength to what it became was so wide last year that I'd really love to go into the season airtight,
Yeah, sure.
100% confident about both tackles.
Okay,
And
I got it.
I don't know that I'm there.
Well, I do think the conversation around too tall is different than the conversation about other linemen, is because it's pretty much just been openly accepted, even with his availability last week, in regards to he knows he's the sixth guy.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you offer value as the sixth guy? Well, if a tackle goes down, I'm in. I'm ready.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we saw that when he was with the twos, is he was at left tackle. And of course, he's been Auburn starting right tackle for multiple seasons now, where I don't think I have an issue with it, because the purpose of it is to get him needed reps to be the backup left tackle and the backup right tackle. I don't think I have an issue with that.
Yeah, that's fine. And I'm generally very high on this group, like as a whole, on the team as a whole. So maybe I'm stretching a little bit, but that's if I have to find an area that I'm a little less enthused than I was a month ago, a little bit, then that's the one that I would pick.
I mean, they seem very proactive in getting guys ready. I mean, with Dylan Wade doing some sessions at center.
Yeah.
Now, why they moved Dylan Wade to center and then put Connor Lew at guard, I don't fully understand that. Just take him off the field or bump him down to the twos, because that's not what you're going to do. You're going to probably, unless it's a situation where he breaks his hand or something, and then you put him at guard because he can't hold on to the football. I'm just trying to think why would you do that?
Like if Jeremiah Wright goes down, do you just move in DeAndre Carter? You just move Dre in there to the other guard spot?
I think you have a few options with Jeremiah Wright if he goes down. I think, you could either do DeAndre Carter, which we've seen DeAndre Carter more at left guard, which I would think if Connor Lew went down, or Dylan Wade would go to center, and then DeAndre Carter would be the left guard. Or, of course, if Dylan Wade goes down, then you just slot DeAndre Carter in. Right guard is interesting because, you could put DeAndre Carter there, or do you scoot Mason Murphy inside, then put too tall at right tackle? I don't know. I don't know.
Good to have options. And again, it's insane today to lose games when you have talented guys and you haven't cross-trained and you haven't prepared. That's one of everybody's got athletes. Everybody's got practice time. Everybody reps ones-on-ones. Everybody does a lot of the same stuff. Are you spending some time with contingency plans, or do you just throw your hands and go, well, we lost again? It's 1998, you're on your fifth string center. That's one thing. How do you make a contingency for 5 different centers in a year? If you lose 2 quarterbacks and you're on your third string guy, that's different. You're not giving your guy your third team guy as many first team reps as your first, but you got to have some contingencies, and they are being smart about doing that.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah,
which is good. And they've put themselves in the spot where they can have a lot of contingencies that make sense. Because sometimes you might have a contingency plan in place, but it's personnel wise, you just can't do anything that's effective because you don't have 8 offensive linemen that you trust to play full speed in an SEC game.
You know who else we haven't talked about? Dylan Senda. He's gotten high praise from coaches in the last couple of weeks. Dylan Senda's had a good fall camp. So where does he slide in as a backup center if Connor Lew goes down? Or do you like Dylan Wade there and then you move Senda to a guard?
It's an option.
Yeah.
It's an option for sure.
And he's another one of those young guys. And we said when he signed, he's probably not a this year player. A couple of years from now, he could be an impact guy or contributor.
No, I think there's a lot of young guys that they really believe in. I mean, obviously DeAndre Carter's there. Favor Edwin I haven't heard anything about, but they really like Ty Buster as well. Broderick Scholl is one of my favorite upside guys on this team. So even the guys that maybe aren't part of the contingency plan this year, who might be fighting for starting spots next year. The future of Auburn's O-line seems fine, which is refreshing.
No doubt. No doubt. You look refreshing.
Like a nice cold lemonade on a warm summer day.
Yeah, that's right. I love that. I love that. I also love Rowback. And would you tell the people about Rowback before we move to the next part of today's program?
Let's play the video.
Let's do it.
Bang. Rowback.com. Use code BARN20 for 20% off your order. They've got everything you need, from quarter zips to polos to performance hoodies, even Auburn branded performance hoodies, like you see if you're watching on YouTube of that very handsome man styling that there. Rowback.com. Use promo code BARN20 to get 20% off your order today.
Let's talk about Keldrick Faulk and the kind of season you think he's in line to have. Last year, he had 45 tackles. He had 7 sacks. Jalen McLeod had 8 sacks. That doesn't get into the top 10 in single season records in Auburn history. To get into the top 10, you got to have 10 sacks. So my question to you is, does Keldrick, or does anybody else? I mean, it's got to be Keldrick. I wouldn't think it would be Kieran or Amaris or anybody else. But does Keldrick get to 10 sacks this year?
I don't know. So I'm a little different with a lot of things, but when I talk about sacks and pass rush, I'm a little different than most people on this. I think sacks are a unit/team statistic.
I agree with that.
And there are some situations where a guy just dominates a double team, and he gets to the quarterback, and it's like, cool, that's all you, brother. You overachieved for your team on that one. But a lot of it, like J-Mac had more sacks than Keldrick last year, but Keldrick's impact was far more.
Yeah.
And so, like, a lot of it is how much attention do you grab, which Keldrick will grab a lot of it, probably even more this year than he did last year, which makes that path to 10 sacks a little tricky.
Yeah.
And also, pressures can sometimes be more valuable than a sack if the quarterback is throwing it under duress and makes a bad decision and, could create a turnover. So sacks aren't everything, but it's a very easy thing to look at. I'm forgetting the guy's name who got drafted by the Bengals. Shamar Stewart, is that it? He got drafted by the Bengals from A&M, and then he held out or whatever. Yeah. Bengals fans were livid because he didn't have hardly any sacks, but it's like his pressure rate was stupid. It was really, really good. And so that's tricky to, what do I expect from Keldrick? I expect a dominant season. That doesn't mean he's going to get more sacks.
Kevin Steele, when we used to go do our coordinator, we used to have 5 minutes with each coordinator on Thursdays. We still do it. I love Kevin Steele, and I smirk when I think
not with Kevin Steele.
What's that?
But you don't meet with Kevin Steele anymore.
No, I don't meet with Kevin Steele. He's not the defensive coordinator.
He's not the defensive coordinator anymore. But you used to.
Used to.
You still meet with the coordinators, but not Kevin Steele.
And I smirk when you talk about how you view sacks differently, because anytime I would ask a question about sacks, he would look up at me from the table as if I had just asked the most basic, the dumbest question in the history. Now, there was mutual respect there, and he wasn't being demeaning, but he would look up like, I know you phrased it that way, but I'm about to give you the one-on-one lesson. There are a lot of ways that you affect the quarterback. Maybe the quarterback takes the ball, does a one-step drop, and gets rid of it, and you can't sack him. So maybe you need to jump instead. And he would go full-on football 101, and I loved it. So, yes, there are many ways to do it. And when I think about maybe moving Keldrick inside a little bit there with 285 pounds of explosion and the opportunities that opens up for Amaris Williams or Kieran Crawford or Chris Murray or Jared Smith or any of the other guys there.
Right.
You push you get a push up the middle, you move that guy around a little bit, and now somebody else has to go close. It's the Derek Brown effect. Derek Brown did so much good for Marlon Davidson and Nick Coe and Jeff Holland and those guys, nearly a decade ago. And I think you see a similar impact from Keldrick this year.
You will. I mean, just logistically, I don't think this will be an uncommon thing that we see. It's 3rd and 8. You've got Keldrick being double teamed by, maybe they keep a tight end in, and he's doubled by a tight end or a tackle. Mm-hmm. Or they have to keep a running back in to help the offensive tackle with Keldrick. And then you look at the weak side and it's like, well, who's helping the other side with Malik Blockton and Kieran Crawford? Like, that's a problem. That's a problem. And they're not going to win that matchup every time.
Yeah.
But they're going to win that at a higher clip than most. And I think that's the kind of stuff that's going to really impact it. And then also on the other side of it is if you keep a tight end or a running back in where they have to help protect the quarterback against this group, it's less that your defensive backs have to worry about and your linebackers and all of that. So to me, when you talk about Keldrick, I don't think you can just look at stats and project his stats, which I think they will be solid. I think he'll get the tackles for loss. I think he'll get the forced fumbles. I think he'll get the sacks, pressures, all of that. But his overall thing is going to be impact. Yeah. And that's why he's going to be a first-round draft pick, is because of impact, not because of how many sacks he gets, but how he impacts offenses and impacts like the flow of a game.
3 players had 7 quarterback hurries in addition to their sack totals last year. Would you care to guess which 3 players?
On Auburn's team?
Yeah.
Keldrick?
Yeah. Yes.
J-Mac?
No.
Jalen didn't have 7 pressures?
Nope. He had 8 sacks, and he had 2 hurries. 13 and a half totals or tackles for loss.
Okay.
But the actual hurries that were not sacks, he had 2.
Riddick?
Nope.
Eugene?
Yes. And one other.
Blockton?
This one makes me smile. No, but that's a good guess.
Who's the other one?
Kieran Crawford.
Nice.
So
yeah, he came on towards the end of last year.
Yeah.
He came on towards the end of last year for sure. So,
that makes me think a little bit like, all right, project, get ready, get acclimated to the SEC.
Were you there, or I watched it on YouTube? Like, did you watch Chris Murray's media availability at all?
I haven't seen it yet. No.
He kept talking like he couldn't get through a sentence without just saying like, oh my goodness. Like, he was just so giddy about Auburn's pass rush and his role within it and like all the guys next to him. And I mean, there does seem to be this thing, I've done a few shows on it, where like there's this overall belief within internally and what they can do as an individual and what they can do as a collective. And I mean, the pass rush feels super confident. I mean, just talking with Keldrick at SEC Media Days, like they feel so confident about their ability to impact the quarterback via pass rush, which is great. And personnel wise, they should be there. I mean, we haven't even mentioned Amaris Williams yet. Right. We haven't even mentioned, how Jordan Crawford and Malik Blockton have had really good fall camps. I mean, there's a lot going on up front. I mean, and then, another super freshman that's somehow like flying under the radar.
28 sacks, 34 hurries, 8 interceptions. Don't you think that number goes up? Don't you think they have more than 8 picks?
I don't know.
I don't know. If they can generate more pressure, shouldn't more pressure lead to more picks?
It should.
Okay.
It should. But then it goes back to like, if you're getting there or not, right? If you get there and you get more sacks, you may get less picks. So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe so.
It's hard to predict interceptions. It's just like there's a lot that goes into it.
That's a good point. Tip balls, and does a quarterback throw it away versus try to force a throw into a bad spot? And
that's right.
Yeah, that's true. Okay,
that's right. Do you have a lead or not? If you have a lead, you're more likely to get that because then they have to force stuff. Like there's a lot that goes into that.
No, that's a good point. Good. So fast starts are important, not falling behind, that kind of thing.
Wouldn't that be nice?
What position leads the team in tackles this year? What a player from what position group? Last year it was Dorian Mausi, so it was a linebacker. Does a linebacker lead in tackles this year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's Durkin's defense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Caleb Harris is the leading returning tackler. He was 5th last year. Just some notes.
And he'll be up there. He'll be up there. But I mean, whoever takes that linebacker spot, if it's Riddick, if it's Wheatland, if it's Woodyard, whoever probably plays the most linebacker snaps will probably lead the team in tackles.
Probably so, yeah. That makes sense. 2 of the top 4 were linebackers. Jaron Thompson, talking about Caleb Harris, Jaron Thompson was 2nd on the team in tackles last year. So you would expect Caleb to be high again this year.
Caleb's up there. Sylvester Smith, I think, has a shot to be up there. I'm curious to see if I think they're going to rotate the safety next to Caleb a good bit, especially early on. So, like, I think Winters or Newboy would have a chance. I don't know if they'll have the snaps to do it. So
there you go. It's fun to there's a lot of positivity around both sides of the ball here in fall camp. There are fewer glaring spots where you go, well, boy, I hope it comes together. There's not as many of those going into this camp. As it should be. Like we said it a couple weeks ago. This is right where they were supposed to be. They're tracking exactly where you wanted them to track heading into year 3 under this coaching staff. So down to 17 days, Zach. 17.
Doesn't seem real.
No.
It doesn't seem real. What like football season tradition or thing that you do are you like looking forward to the most?
I've already watched Varsity Blues. I got to do that every August before football.
That's your football movie that you've got to watch? Mine's We Are Marshall.
Okay. All right. And it's not even so much because I think it's the greatest movie ever, because I don't. It's just all right, football season's coming, high school, college, pro, it's all there. So that's it. I don't know what other
nothing wrecks me more than We Are Marshall. Wrecks me.
Yeah. No, yeah. Sure.
Kills me.
Well, I mean, you have a heart.
It's true. It's true.
If it doesn't wreck you, you need to check your heart.
Yeah, Rudy wrecks me too.
I don't know. Yeah, now I would feel like Rudy would get me like fired up for the season more than We Are Marshall.
The scene where they all like walk in and like put their jerseys on the desk one at a time. Like it's pretty.
You talking about
powerful stuff.
You talking about Vince Vaughn's breakout role? Yeah.
Is Vince Vaughn in that?
Yeah, sure is.
Is he the coach?
No, he's a play. When do you think that movie was made, Zach?
I'm going to be honest, man. I don't think I could like tell you what Vince Vaughn looks like right now. Like, I actually don't think I know who Vince Vaughn is. Like, I know the name, but I don't think I can tell you like who Vince Vaughn is.
Are you all right? Are you?
I'm not. This isn't a bit. Like, I'm just being real with you.
Okay,
I'm just saying, dude.
You do something every day. See, this is why you continue to watch for 27 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, because Zach's going to say something like, I don't know, maybe a pretzel's a sweet treat, or I don't even know who Vince Vaughn is. He's going to say something that catches you off guard and you don't expect.
Why do I need to know who Vince Vaughn is?
He's one of the most popular. He was in like over the last 20 years. Now look, you do have to go back 20 years. I'll give you that. But there for a period of about 5 years, he was probably the most popular comedic actor in the country.
I'm looking at the movie.
You never seen Wedding Crashers?
No, we've been through this. We did like a whole show on how I haven't seen Wedding Crashers, and I was supposed to watch, and I didn't.
Dodgeball. The Breakup.
I have seen Dodgeball. I think Dodgeball's the only movie on this list that I've seen. Oh, he's in Rudy. I'm just kidding.
Jack, you jerk,
dude. Real talk.
Yeah.
The only movies I've seen on this is Rudy and
was he in Couples Retreat
Dodgeball?
too?
Yeah, that's on here.
4 Christmases. You got to see 4 Christmases.
I feel like I have seen 4 Christmases.
He was in Fred Claus. He's Fred Claus.
Oh, okay. My oldest loves Fred Claus.
Well, your oldest has good taste. You know who Vince Vaughn is. You're messing.
Yeah, I do. I recognize him now.
Okay.
But I haven't seen like many of these movies.
Yeah. Well,
so
he was in Rudy.
Be like, oh my goodness, who was he in Guardians of the Galaxy?
I never saw Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't see that. I didn't know he was in that.
See, I'm not going to make a big deal out of that. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it.
No, because
like, okay, you haven't seen it. It's all right.
Yeah, that's one. There
are a lot of movies on here.
Yeah. I'm telling you, he's been in a ton. Nice guy, too. Saw him on the sideline of Notre Dame and Alabama in the 2012 national championship game.
Okay.
He was on the sidelines, big Notre Dame guy, very friendly, apparently. I didn't talk to him, but the guy I was with talked to him.
Got it.
So good for Vince Vaughn.
All right. Favorite Vince Vaughn movie and why? Let us know in the comments down below. I think that does it for today's show.
It
We
does.
get blasted. Gosh, we're gonna
No,
get blasted.
no, it's coming, and you earn it, and that's okay. You
Whatever.
embrace that. Hey, we're almost at 8,000 subscribers. Help us get there. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Let's get to 8K by kickoff. And remember, until next time, everyone has vices.
Yeah.
Make sure Village Vice is one of yours.